Let's get on down here. It's like just low enough where it's a pain in the... Ugh. Nailed it.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick. I am one half of the brothers Murph, and this is What's on That Shelf? Where Mike and I just go through our shelf so you can see what games we have. I like our games. I like all the games. So this week we are doing this shelf right here. This is our sponsor shelf slash one good game shelf slash one really ridiculous game shelf. So let's start on this end. This is a wonderful game. It's called Evolution. Evolution is a wonderful game about beans. It's not about beans, it's about evolution. Shocker. So, Evolution is a great, great game with some of the best art in all of board gaming. It's probably my second favorite art in a game, honestly. Abyss is number one, but this is just, it's so beautiful. But this is a game where you essentially are getting species. Now, your species are just blank slates. There is nothing else. Checking focus. There's nothing else on your species. It's not like, oh, I have scales or I have horns. You have nothing. And you're getting different cards. And these cards are different traits that you can have. The traits could be like climbing, or you have a really long neck, or you're a little fat guy and you got fat rolls and stuff. There's all different kinds of traits, and all the different traits do certain different things. You can get a trait that turns you into a carnivore. You can be a herbivore. It's really up to you. And it's a really great game and really encapsulates evolution how it is in real life, because you're just kind of getting these traits randomly and you're seeing what works, what allows your species to survive over the other species. How you win the game is you're essentially just trying to eat food. The more food you eat, the better you do. The food is points in the game. So if you're able to eat 6 food on each turn because you have 6 population is directly correlated by food, then you're going to be doing pretty well. But the other people are trying to get more food than you, or if you have carnivores, your food is the other species, so you're attacking other species, and you have to defend against carnivores, and it's just a beautiful, wonderful game. This also has the Evolution Climate expansion in it. Climate adds climate to it, which is just a little bit of the game, and it's one of those, in my opinion, essential expansions. Don't just get Evolution, get Evolution Climate. If you already have Evolution, get the climate expansion. It really is much, much better, and it only adds a teeny bit of complexity, so you can just teach people Evolution Climate right out the gate. You're wonderful. Evolution, great game. Love it. One of my favorite gateway games. A lot of people don't consider it that, but honestly, pretty much anyone can handle it. It's pretty easy. Okay. Ridiculous game time. Justin Bieber Backstage Pass. Yeah, we still got this game. This is kind of we just had our 1-year anniversary on the Dice Tower. This is kind of the game that, I was going to say put us on the map, but that sounds like it's too big. This is kind of we showed up on a few episodes of the Dice Tower. People, kind of like, oh, those two brothers are kind of weird and stuff. But our segments are pretty tame and not really like how Mike and I actually are. This is the one where we kind of started letting it loose. We greased the wheels a little bit. We started rolling down the hill a little bit faster. And people really took to it. We were reviewing a ridiculous Justin Bieber game, because this is like old Biebs. This is like the baby, oh. It's like that version of Biebs, not like normal Biebs. And it's just trivia. It sucks. It's garbage. But we didn't even do really a sketch for this one. It was just kind of us making fun of it, and people seemed to really like it. And after that, we started getting, more people noticing us and getting us a little more popular on the channel. And honestly, this game kind of is what, I guess, kind of put us where we are today, I think. And the reason we still have it is because, like, once a month, there's always someone who's, like, in the comments, like, you still have that Justin Bieber game. What the hell? Like, it's next to Evolution. That's a great game. What are you doing? And people get really upset about it. So we keep it literally for that exact reason. It's not because it perpetuates us into stardom. It's really just to annoy the occasional person, like once a month. Totally worth it. Keeping this baby forever. Now we're getting to sponsor territory. Now we're really, really lucky that our sponsor, Restoration Games, great games, actually does make great games. These 3 games right here are all Restoration games. We put them right here prominent so everyone can see them all the time because we love our sponsors. in all honesty, we really love our sponsors. They're wonderful, wonderful people. First game up is Indulgence. Indulgence, we actually got to play for the first time pretty recently. This is a trick-taking game. Most trick-taking games aren't really good with two people. Mike and I almost always are playing just me and him. Sometimes we have more people. Now we have game groups and stuff, and we're more likely to get more people in a game, but still, most of the time, it's just me and him. In this game, not really good at two. But that's fair, because it's a trick-taking game. Most trick-taking games aren't. But we had 4 people in a Twitch stream recently, and we had a Restoration Games now. We played all 3 of their games, and we're like, yes, we finally could try Indulgence. And man, I really, really, really like it. I am not a huge fan of trick-taking games. And actually, I think I am. I think I'm not a huge fan of like classic trick-taking games like Hearts or Spades. I kind of want something else going on. And this game has that. Another one of our big favorites is Fox in the Forest, because it has some other stuff, some kind of player powers. This essentially is a trick-taking game where, like most trick-taking games, you're playing suits, trying to play the biggest suits, trying to get tricks, all that kind of stuff. But you're playing as these four Italian families. And essentially, there's edicts that are going on. And the edicts are essentially like rules. Like, in this one, whoever's the ruler on that turn, basically the person dealing, whoever takes the most threes, most like tricks with threes or whatever, you have to pay the ruler this much money. And so it changes what you want to get and what you don't want to get. And it makes it really, really interesting. Or sometimes you're like, hey, you don't want any of this family. Or sometimes like, hey, you want a lot of this type of family. And it makes it interesting. And it adds, each round's a little bit different. And it just, ooh, I really, really liked it. When we played it, I was like, oh, we had to do other stuff because we were going through 3 games in one stream, which is a lot, and so we had to go on, but I cannot wait to play this game again. Indulgence, so good. Great trick-taking game, if you like trick-taking games. Next, Stop Thief. Never mind, Downforce. I wasn't looking. Downforce. I love Downforce. I really, really do. Downforce is a racing game. It's a racing game with a really interesting thing about it, where the game you don't win by coming in first. That is not your goal. It helps to come in first, but you don't need to. The game is won by having the most money. So when you are all deciding on different cars, every color car, there's 6 colors in the game, every car is going to get paired up with a certain special ability. And those special abilities range from a whole bunch of different stuff. So you're bidding on the cars, and you're bidding in millions of dollars. So whatever you bid on, you get that car. That millions of dollars is going to get taken out of your final score. So you don't want to bid too high, but you also want to get the car that you want. And then as you're racing, you're going around the track. There are 3 different spots on the track where you're going to have to bet. And you have to bet on who you think is going to win the race. And that's really, really interesting because you do not have to bet on yourself. If you are in way last place, but Mike is in way first place and Susan is right behind him, you might want to bet on Mike or Susan because you get a certain amount of money for being right. So it takes that whole thing of needing to be first and kind of throws it out the window because it helps because you get a certain amount of money for getting in a certain place of the game. If you get first place, you get the most money, second place, second most money, so on and so forth. But you don't need to because if you bet really well, you can come in last place and it doesn't matter. And that is fascinating and wonderful because in this game, like most racing games, you can get screwed over pretty hard. You can get put in the very back end of a bottleneck and there's no way you can make it out. And this game alleviates that stress. Also, on your turn, you're playing cards, and the cards you're playing move the cars, but it moves multiple cars, so you're not always moving your own car. So you want to play your cards in a strategic way where you're moving the cars out of your way and moving the car that you want to win forward. And it just works so well. It's light, it's quick, it's easy, it's super easy to learn. Every single person I've played it with loves it. I'm not just saying because it's Restoration Games, although it is Restoration Games, and I love Restoration Games. Oh my god. Mwah, Downforce, the best. I'm really weird with my games. I'm sorry. Last, but certainly not least, Stop Thief. This bad boy is climbing the ranks. This is a retake on an old game called Stop Thief. It's not, they didn't change the name. That would be weird. On Stop Thief. And Stop Thief is an interesting game, a great game, and probably blew people's minds when it first came out, I think in the 70s. But essentially, there's a map on it with 4 different like buildings, and there's numbers and like lines all over the board. And those are essentially paths that thieves could be taking. And throughout the game, it goes off an app, and you are essentially clicking "Get a Clue" on the app. Excuse me, and the app gives you a clue. It might be a window breaking, or a door opening, or just people walking. And that's essentially telling you where they went. So you're like, oh, the thief broke through a window and then went through a door and then walked twice. And so you can start eliminating different parts of the board where that could potentially happen. You're like, oh, I know they couldn't be here because this is in the middle of a room and there's no windows near them, and they just broke through a window, so they can't be here. And you have to then deduce where you think the thieves are, and then you have to go there and make an arrest. But they're constantly moving around. And you're trying to do that before all the other players find them as well. Everyone's trying to go for the same goal. Now, I really like the game as a competitive game. It's very fun. It's very great. But they came out with a cooperative version on the app, where then you can all play cooperative and you're all looking for the thief together. And that is where the game shines. It's outstanding as a cooperative game, so much so that I probably will never play the competitive game again. Honestly, I just won't. It's great as a cooperative game. It's still really tough. It's still really hard. You have to catch, I think, 8 thieves. And it's just tough, but you're discussing, because during the competitive game, you want to discuss. You're just like, oh, I think they're here, but you don't want to like let people know where you think they are. But in the cooperative game, you're just sharing information. You're talking like, okay, I'm going to go over here because they could be either here or they could be here. So I'm going to go over here and you're going to go over there. We're going to try and corner them and da-da-da-da-da. And the whole time they're stealing money and they're trying to get out and elude you. And it's just, oh, it's a cooperative game. It is so, so, so much fun. I keep wanting to play this over and over and over again. I really, really am loving this game. I really liked it as a competitive game, but the second we played it cooperative, I was like, whoa, this is next level, and this is something I really, really want to explore. And I think they're about to come out with the app in the cooperative mode where you can change the difficulty. And that would be even cool, because if you want to make it really, really hard or a little easier, you can totally do that. On top of that, they're about to come out with, I'm not sure when, but on the app, there's going to be a 1 versus all modes where I'm guessing you're the thief and you're trying to loot everyone. So at that point, it's a hidden movement game. And just, oh my gosh, I mean, they can do this forever. And it's just great. And I love Stop Thief. As a game, I really wasn't sure about. Honestly, really wasn't sure about, and it blew me out of water, especially the co-op version. If you like co-op games, if you really like discussing stuff, get this game. Oh, so good. I kiss my games a lot, I'm sorry. That's the shelf. Look, there's blinds and a window behind here. No one wants this crap. No one wants this crap. It's done. The shelf is done. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for looking at this shelf and looking at all our sponsors' games. Restoration Games is a wonderful, wonderful company, and you should support them because they're great. And honestly, and I'm not just saying this because they sponsor us. They specifically told us we do not need to praise their games. We can trash them if we don't like them. And I really, honestly love all of their games. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And see you later. Keep on Murphing on. Boom!
Now, we all know that Nick is the artist, but I'll bet you I can sketch you right now. And while I'm doing this amazing sketch, check out Restoration Games. They sponsor us, and there's information for where to find their games, not illustrations, down below. And this has gone off the rail. I'm so sorry. You are way more beautiful than that. But go ahead and click over another video. I fail.